Mark Thompson stood at the edge of the crowded high school gymnasium, his heart pounding like a drum in his chest. The air was thick with laughter and the clink of glasses, old classmates reuniting after 2 decades, sharing stories of success and fortune. But for Mark, a single dad scraping by on a modest salary, this reunion felt like stepping into a lion's den. He adjusted his worn-out suit, the one he'd bought second-hand, and scanned the room for familiar faces. That's when he saw her. His ex-wife, Lisa, draped in diamonds and clinging to her new husband's arm, a smug smile on her lips. She locked eyes with him, and in that instant, Mark knew trouble was brewing. But what he didn't know was that this night of humiliation would end with a twist so shocking, it would rewrite his entire life. Just as Lisa opened her mouth to unleash her venom, a sleek black limousine pulled up outside, and out stepped a man who would change everything. Mark froze, his palms sweating as Lisa sauntered over, her heels clicking sharply on the polished floor. "Well, if it isn't Mark Thompson," she sneered, loud enough for nearby clusters of people to turn and stare. "Still driving that rusty old pickup? And where's that little girl of yours? Oh, right, you're raising her alone because you couldn't keep a family together." The words hit like daggers, and Mark felt his face burn with shame. Whispers rippled through the crowd, old friends averting their eyes. He opened his mouth to respond, but nothing came out. Just as the humiliation peaked, threatening to crush him entirely, the gymnasium doors swung open with a dramatic whoosh. Years earlier, Mark's life had been a picture of quiet contentment. He and Lisa had met in college, fallen in love over late-night study sessions and dreams of a simple future. They married young, bought a cozy house in the suburbs, and soon welcomed their daughter, Emily, into the world. Mark worked as an accountant at a small firm, steady and reliable, while Lisa pursued her career in marketing. But as the years passed, Lisa's ambitions grew. She wanted more: luxury vacations, designer clothes, a life of glamour that Mark's salary couldn't provide. Arguments became frequent, her resentment building like a storm. One day, she packed her bags and left, filing for divorce and taking half of everything, including custody battles that drained Mark's savings. "You're just not enough," she'd said, her final words echoing in his mind. Now, raising Emily alone, Mark juggled 2 jobs, his day shift at the accounting firm and nights as a freelance consultant, all to give his daughter the life she deserved. Emily, now 10, was his world, bright, curious, with a laugh that could light up the darkest days. But the scars from the divorce ran deep, making Mark doubt himself at every turn. Back at the reunion, the doors had opened, and a hush fell over the room. In walked Victor Hale, the billionaire CEO of Hale Industries, Mark's boss for the past 5 years. Victor was a legend in the business world, ruthless in boardrooms, but with a hidden soft spot for loyalty. Mark had started as a junior accountant at Hale's company, working tirelessly on projects that saved millions. Victor had noticed him, promoting him quietly, but Mark never imagined this. Victor scanned the room, his sharp eyes landing on Mark and Lisa. "Mark," he boomed, striding over with purpose. Lisa's smirk faltered as Victor clapped Mark on the back. "There you are, my right-hand man." The crowd murmured in surprise. But just as Victor began to speak, revealing a secret that could upend everything, Lisa interrupted with a venomous laugh. Mark's journey to Hale Industries hadn't been easy. After the divorce, he hit rock bottom, bills piling up, Emily crying for her mother who rarely visited. He applied for the job on a whim, acing the interview with his sharp mind for numbers. Victor Hale, a self-made billionaire from humble beginnings, saw something in Mark: grit, honesty, the kind of integrity money couldn't buy. Over the years, Mark became indispensable, handling sensitive financial strategies that propelled the company forward. But he kept his personal life private, never mentioning the struggles at home. Emily's school events, doctor's appointments, the endless worry about providing for her, it all weighed on him. There were nights he'd come home exhausted, only to find Emily asleep with a drawing she'd made for him, a simple, "I love you, Dad," scrawled in crayon. Those moments kept him going, but the loneliness gnawed at him. He dated sporadically, but no one understood the depth of his commitment to his daughter. Friends urged him to move on, but Mark carried the guilt of the failed marriage like a shadow. Victor's interruption at the reunion sent shockwaves through the room. "Ladies and gentlemen," Victor announced, his voice commanding attention, "you might know Mark as your old classmate, but to me, he's the genius behind Hale Industries' latest billion-dollar deal." Gasps echoed as Victor pulled out his phone, projecting a news article on the wall. Hale Industries acquires tech giant, thanks to key strategist Mark Thompson. Lisa's face drained of color. "That's impossible," she stammered. "Mark's just a nobody." Victor chuckled. "A nobody?" This man turned down a 7-figure bonus to ensure his team got fair shares. "He's more than an employee, he's family." Mark stood there, stunned, as old classmates approached with apologies and admiration. But the real bombshell was coming. Victor leaned in and whispered something to Mark that made his world spin. Flashback to 6 months ago, Mark was in Victor's office, presenting a risky investment plan. "This could make or break us," Mark had said, his voice steady despite the nerves. Victor listened intently, then nodded. "I trust you, Mark. But tell me, why do you push so hard?" For the first time, Mark opened up about Emily, the divorce, the daily battles. Victor's eyes softened. He'd lost his own wife young, raising 2 kids alone before building his empire. "You're not alone," Victor had said. From that day, a mentorship formed. Victor offered advice on parenting, even sent anonymous gifts for Emily's birthday. Mark never suspected Victor saw him as a successor, grooming him for bigger things. Back home, Emily thrived under Mark's care. She excelled in school, joined the soccer team, and dreamed of becoming a scientist. But challenges loomed. Emily's asthma required expensive treatments, and Mark's ex, Lisa, sporadically demanded more child support while flaunting her lavish life on social media. It fueled Mark's determination, but also his insecurities. At the reunion, Victor's whisper hit Mark like lightning. "I've been meaning to tell you, I'm retiring soon, and I want you to take over as CEO." Mark's jaw dropped. "Me? But I'm just..." Victor cut him off. "Just the best damn leader I've seen. And there's more. I've set up a trust for Emily's future." Tears welled in Mark's eyes as the room erupted in applause. Lisa slunk away, her new husband dragging her out, humiliated in turn. Old friends surrounded Mark, sharing stories of their own struggles, bonding over the years lost. But as the night wound down, Mark received a frantic call from Emily's babysitter. Something was wrong at home. Rushing home, Mark's mind raced. The babysitter met him at the door, pale-faced. Emily had an asthma attack. "She's stable now," but it was scary. Mark burst into her room, finding Emily asleep, her small chest rising and falling peacefully. He sat by her bed, holding her hand, vowing to never let work overshadow her again. The next day, Victor visited, bringing flowers for Emily. "This is why I chose you, Mark. You have heart." Together, they discussed the transition. Mark would become CEO, with flexible hours to prioritize family. Challenges arose. Board members skeptical of the single dad taking charge, media scrutiny on his past. But Mark faced them head-on, drawing strength from Emily's resilience. He implemented family-friendly policies at the company, helping other employees balance life and work. Lisa, seeing the news, reached out apologetically, but Mark set boundaries, focusing on co-parenting for Emily's sake. Months passed, and Mark's life transformed. The CEO role brought wealth, but more importantly, purpose. He mentored young single parents, started a foundation for children's health. Emily beamed with pride, her drawings now featuring my dad, the hero. One evening, as they watched the sunset from their new home, Emily hugged him. "Dad, you did it all for me." Mark smiled, tears in his eyes. "And I'd do it again." The humiliation at the reunion became a turning point, proving that true success comes from within, not from others' validation. But just when things seemed perfect, an unexpected letter arrived from Lisa's lawyer, threatening to reopen the custody battle. Mark stared at the letter, his hands trembling. Lisa claimed he was now too busy with his CEO duties to care for Emily properly. Panic surged. After all he'd built, could he lose his daughter? He called Victor, who rallied a team of top lawyers. "We'll fight this," Victor assured. The court date loomed, a grueling process filled with testimonies. Mark shared his story openly, the late nights helping Emily with homework, the doctor's visits, the unbreakable bond. Witnesses from work praised his dedication. Even old classmates from the reunion testified to his character. Lisa's case crumbled when emails revealed her motives were financial, not concern for Emily. The judge ruled in Mark's favor, granting him full custody and ordering Lisa to attend parenting classes. Relief washed over Mark as he hugged Emily outside the courthouse. "It's over, sweetie." She looked up at him. "I never doubted you, Dad." Victor waited nearby, smiling. "Now, let's build that empire together." Mark nodded, inspired to use his position for good, expanding the company ethically, supporting community programs. He reconnected with a kind colleague, Sarah, who understood his world as a single parent herself. Their relationship blossomed slowly, built on mutual respect. Years later, at Emily's college graduation, Mark reflected on the journey. From a humiliated single dad to a billionaire leader, his story was one of perseverance. "Life throws curveballs," he told the crowd in a speech, "but with heart and support, you can hit them out of the park." Emily, now a budding scientist, whispered, "Thanks to you, Dad." And so, Mark's tale reminds us, no matter how deep the humiliation, a single act of kindness, from a boss, a friend, or within yourself, can change everything. Rise above, embrace your challenges, and inspire those around you. If you enjoyed this emotional roller coaster of a story, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring tales that touch the heart. Thanks for watching.